Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the world's biggest stars and most talented people, and we've got one for you today. Belinda Davids is a stunning singer, first and foremost. Secondly, she does a show called The Whitney Houston Show. It's touring across the UK, and I'm delighted to say she joins us on the phone now. How are you?
I'm great, Alex. Thank you for having me.
Do you know what? I love people who are mega talented, and to even begin to impersonate or sound like someone like Whitney, you've got to almost have a gift better than hers. You are incredible. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It's quite a thing. It's quite a thing. You know, when people say that, it still hasn't sunk in.
It's remarkable. I mean, I've interviewed both of the ladies who starred in the Bodyguard musical, Alexandra Burke and also Beverly Knight, who are both incredible singers in their own right. And I asked them how tough it was to do that 8 times a week. And they said, well, we don't do the matinees because it's not possible. These songs are ridiculously enormous, aren't they?
They are. And I agree. You can't do a matinee. You can't do 2 shows a day. You can't. It's impossible. Doing Whitney Houston songs, I mean, just think about it. Think of her range. Think of the belting that she constantly did. And she didn't do it as much as we're doing it.
Right.
You know, she didn't do it as much as we did it. She only did, you know, if she ever did a tour, it was never 6 nights a week. Mm. It's not possible. But we're doing it because, I can't say we're more passionate about it than Whitney was, but it's not possible to do 8 shows a week. It's not possible.
I wonder why you chose to do this, because you could be an artist in your own right. I mean, this show gives you a platform via Whitney, but fundamentally, you could be a world-renowned singer in your own right. It's selfless what you do, isn't it?
I think when it comes to doing my own music and having my own career, as in my own original music and, you know, releasing albums, I tried that. I'll tell you that. I tried it. And I was always put in that Whitney Houston box. I was always told, well, you see, we already, even not doing Whitney Houston songs. I never demoed Whitney Houston songs. I always demoed my own songs. Mm. And I was always told, well, you know, we already have a Whitney Houston. We don't need another one, you know. And I think even if I tried to do it now, even if I tried to sort of create my own thing, it would be such a process, because I've been doing this show for about 6 years now, and it would be such a process to find myself. And believe me, you know, it's a process that's been going on already. So I truly don't even have the time. As soon as I slow down, and people look at me and they go, oh, she's making an excuse, you know, just get it done. Because people are always asking me, when are you coming out with something? When are you coming out with something? Well, you know, I'm booked until 2020 with the show. And I'm not booked 6 months out of the year. I'm booked 8 to 10 months out of the year until 2020. So when I do slow down, for sure, I'll come out with something.
What an amazing gift, though, to have that kind of security. Who in show business has a diary packed for the next 2 years? That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm blessed. For sure I'm blessed.
I am a little bit upset with you, though, Belinda. I'm going to get quite naughty with you now. Well, I think you shouldn't be on tour. I think you should be in Las Vegas. I've spent 15 years there interviewing the biggest stars, and you were born to be headlining there. Why aren't you doing a show?
I'll tell you what. Again, a lot of people have come up to me and said, why don't you go to Vegas? Well, you know, not everyone's going to fly out to Vegas to come and see the show. I don't think.
Well, I think the difference is, though, you're good enough that you could make them come to you, which means you could have a better life, because touring's tough, isn't it? One-nighters and planes and trains.
It is very tough, especially when you have kids, you know. It's very difficult. But, well, you see, it's something that's going to have to be discussed in detail. We're not quite there yet. We have so much stuff. We have countries that we haven't been to. So we're going to Tel Aviv in a minute, and we're going to Moscow. Countries that we've not been to. So,
is it still thrilling to stand on a new stage and sing these songs? I mean, when you get to that moment, and what's great about this production is it is a show. It's not just one woman and a microphone. You've got a live band, you've got the lights, you've got the set. It's a big production. When you get to the I Will Always Love You flash moment where it key changes and all of that, it must be exhilarating.
It always is. It always is. Because we are touring so much and we are touring all over the world, you meet a new crowd every time. And it's also somewhat of a challenge, because There's not been another Whitney Houston tribute on this scale. There's not been another tribute show of Whitney Houston. I mean, we have Glennis Grace, who is absolutely stunning as well. But we haven't had this big production. I have not seen a big production like this, travel the world. And every time when we get to a new country, it's very exhilarating.
And then I wonder about the toll on you. I mentioned earlier about the planes, trains and automobiles. It's not great for the voice. How panicked are you when you wake up in the morning and you go that you're going to sound like you and Whitney?
Of course, the absolute panic comes to my mind. It's like, oh, what is happening? But there's things that has to be done in order to avoid that. We have to do things to avoid that. We have to keep healthy. Don't fly me in on show day. Give me a few days to get used to allow me to climatize. It's all things that has to be done in order to give my best.
Mm. And again, the platform you're at with this show is extraordinary. To have that live band, I suppose that puts it on another level. If you were stood there just singing to backing track, it'd all be a bit crap, wouldn't it? Let's face it.
It would be. But we have a live band. We have amazing musicians. We have everything. We have a great lighting technician. We have a great sound engineer. We have people that understand, as much as I listen to Whitney, they listen to Whitney to get the best sound out to the audience. We have great dancers. We even bring a sense of style on stage. So it's really, really a great show.
Let's talk about you a bit. Let's just give the dates before we go any further. April 12th, you arrive back in the UK for Glasgow at the Royal Concert Hall. Then you move to Newcastle, Liverpool, Birmingham Symphony Hall. That's when I'll see you on April 15th. Hammersmith, you're coming to Cardiff on the 18th. Southend-on-Sea on the 19th. 20th in Manchester, Belfast 22nd. And then you're off to Johannesburg on the 22nd of June. I mean, an incredible life. And there you were, just a little girl in South Africa, ending up travelling the world touring these songs. Were you always talented? Did you always have the gift? Because you can't be trained, your voice is so magnificent.
I am not trained. I'm not trained at all. I remember being able to sing since the age of 5. And my grandmother was sort of my guide through it all. No one really taught me how to sing. My brother always says, I taught you how to sing. Oh, no, you didn't. But, it's. I think since I can remember from the age of 5 is that I was able to sing. Now, how good I was, I never really knew how good I was at singing until I started singing along with Whitney. And then I realized, oh my God, I can actually sing like that girl on the radio. Something must be happening.
Let me ask about that day, that tragic day when we all heard she'd passed away. None of us could believe it. It was one of those Michael Jackson moments. How did you react? Because I guess you've got to be in love with her to pay tribute so passionately the way you do.
I was in disbelief. Because, how many times did Michael Jackson actually die? How many times did he say to us, oh, I'm going to freeze my body in doing this and it'll be preserved? And, the threat of, it was sort of an underlying threat that he always... And for me, Whitney Houston was that person like Michael Jackson. They would never die. Right. It wouldn't be a thing, because I was always in disbelief about the drugs, and I was always in disbelief about her tragic, life, so much pressure that she's got. She was just perfect to me all the time. So I was in complete disbelief when she died. When my friend called me that morning out of America, and my best friend, and she said, Whitney has died. And I was like, no, that's nonsense, whatever. So, of course, in the back of my mind, I go, okay, I've got to wait for the news. I've got to sit up. I've got to get up and wait for the news. And then I saw the news, and I saw the dates, and I was, when your heart just sinks into your stomach, and you know that, this is the end. This is the end. Nothing else is going to come from that body anymore. Nothing else is going to come from that voice anymore. There will be no more creating. There will be no more evolving. There will be nothing else for you as the dreamer, because she was living the dream, and I was aspiring to be where she was. So
I guess so. You've got to be careful what you wish for, because it didn't make her happy and it didn't give her contentment, and ultimately you could argue that success and that level of fame destroyed her as it did when we look at Amy Winehouse, when we look at Michael Jackson. So many of them were destroyed by their own success. It's a tricky thing, fame, isn't it?
It is very tricky. It is very tricky. And, you know, being where I am today, I don't really let people tell me what to do. I don't really let people tell me, oh, well, you know, you should try this. Oh, well, no. Actually, I'll do what's best for me.
Yeah.
How about, you know, and they didn't have that. They had people whom they thought was good for them, and they didn't. They were under constant pressure of, well, you know, you've got to take care of this one, you've got to take care of that one, you've got to constantly work and work and work. And yeah, it's very, very sad, really.
I've interviewed many impersonators over the years. I talked to you before the program about a lady called Veronique Decaire who does a wonderful act as Celine. I interviewed a guy who does Sinatra in Vegas who, again, is incredible. And the nuance of what you do isn't just about the voice, is it? It's the poise, it's the eyebrow movement, it's the way you hold your finger, your hand. When did that become in you, in a sense that you didn't have to think about it? Because that's the true skill of a master impressionist.
I think because I idolized her so much, it just happened over a period of 25 years where it just sunk in. So when I came to this point where I actually had to, you know, do the show in full production, in, you know, everything, Whitney, costumes, everything, you know, I had to really dig in a little bit more, you know, really refine the movement, really, you know, really watch her very, very closely in everything that she does. And I'm still learning. I'll tell you that after about 30 years, I'm still learning. I still look at her and I go, oh, see, I'm not doing that thing. I'm not bringing that to, you know, but to be able to stand poised, that's very difficult because I'm a mover. I want to move up and down the stage the whole time.
Right. And you will agree with me that Run to You is her best song, correct?
Run to You?
It's her best song. It has to be.
Did you want me to agree with you?
I love that song. That and I Have Nothing, I think, are her absolute greatest. They're beautiful songs, aren't they?
The thing is, they're both beautiful songs. They're just different. They're different. You know, they're both Whitney Houston songs, and she delivered them, you know, perfect. But they're different.
How do you get through it? When we look at those litany of songs from I Will Always Love You, people forget, of course, Dolly Parton wrote that. It probably made her more money than all of her songs put together. And then I Want to Dance with Somebody. Do you end with that? Because that's the party song, isn't it? That's the one people love to dance to.
Absolutely. Every time I start the song, you know, you see that people were just waiting for that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of fun.
The energy is fabulous. And then, of course, One Moment in Time, which is just glorious. The Greatest Love of All, the title of the show. And then songs like We Forget, Exhale, and I'm Every Woman. I mean, she just had hit after hit. How many are there in this show?
21.
21 songs. Who does that? I mean, a West End actress wouldn't sing 21 songs in a show. Incredible.
Well,
the thing that people may have seen you on recently in the UK, you did this BBC One show, which was really interesting. And I know it's done gangbusters on the internet. Was that a risk for you? Because I'm always nervous. It wasn't really a reality show as such, was it? But it gave you a great platform, primetime BBC One. Well,
I did. But here's the thing, though. I mean, I should be really careful how I explain this because I did win. However, calling a show better than the real thing, really?
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for a fall, aren't you?
You're setting yourself up. It's like I was never. I don't ever think that I'm better than Whitney. No. You know, I'm not never gonna betray that because I have too much, and still do, even after her passing, have too much respect for her.
Yeah.
So I think that was a bit risky calling the show that. But, you know.
I guess it's a tabloid way of getting people to watch, but I mean,
I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a little bit awkward in a way because you're there to honour them. I think the greatest impressionists are there to honour, not to mock or to beat. It's not about that, is it? It's pure. You're saying, look at this amazing voice. I'm going to make it the best I possibly can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
And even the other artists that was there, you know, they were very good.
Yeah.
They were very good for what they were doing, but, you know, it was, yeah.
I think what you do is an incredible craft. I think as a technician of music, you are remarkable. Nobody in the West End would sing 21 songs in a show and then have to do it night after night and travel around the world at the same time. I can't wait to see you in Birmingham. We're going to film something there because I just wanted to give it a quick plug before we come and see you. But the Whitney Houston Show will be touring the UK in April with Belinda Davids, a huge star who has a remarkable voice. And congratulations on everything. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thanks, Belinda.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks for having me.